What is up, YouTube? We are live again. What's poppin', boys? Excited to be back here. We're doing another mock today. Some of you have already drafted, but a lot of you are waiting until the week before the NFL season. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. But of course, we cannot do a live stream without doing our intro. So let me scroll down and let us do the intro. So yes, of course, we are back. We are doing a live stream tonight. We're doing a one quarterback, and we're trying to get everyone in the sleepers. It is filling up a little bit slower than expected. So we bear with me as we kind of jump in and get people in here. If you are just tuning in, of course, you can jump into mock with us. We're getting there. We're getting there. We need a few more people. But I know Nate is also who's one of our big fans of the show, is in here with me tonight. And so, like I said, if you have not subscribed already, what are you doing? We are putting out fantasy football content every day. So appreciate you guys tuning in and being here as we talk a little bit more about fantasy football and kind of draft here together. So if you are watching the replay, sorry, it is a little bit slow. I would recommend maybe skipping ahead until we can start the draft. We get everyone in here. Of course, I was pretty close. Sleeper's been filling up a little bit slower than recently. So, but we are 4 teams. Are we 4 teams away? Yeah. Nate is coming in here with a question. Of course, he always asks a question in the sleeper chat. Doesn't help me out with the YouTube algorithm, but we're just giving him crap. Should I drop B-Rob for JD? Like McKissick? Are you talking about JD McKissick? Brian Robinson for JD McKissick? Someone liked it in the sleeper chat, but I think I'm holding on to. Yeah. I think I'm holding on to Brian Robinson, even though he did just get shot. I don't know what the timetable is. Like, will he be back in like 4 weeks? Will he be out 8 weeks? I don't know. Maybe I'm doing McKissick. For anyone, this is like a terrible thing. I know. Yesterday in my stream, I talked about how much our prayers are out for Brian Robinson, but for Antonio Gibson truthers, it is something of an interesting predicament as we look into this season. Will Antonio Gibson will this be the thing that helps Antonio Gibson? Like, I hate saying that because we do care about the man a lot, but to the 3 viewers, for you guys tuning in, let me know if you're in this draft with me. If you're not, just let me know. Let me know who's here. Comment in the stream. Appreciate it. Like it. We're trying to grow this channel. I think we hit like 63 subs. You guys all blew it out of the water. My goal was 50 before the beginning of the season. So appreciate you guys for just supporting me through this whole journey. It means a lot. Fantasy football. Here we come. Excited for football. Like, we got college football back. We got NFL about to be back. So we are on the verge of good things here. We need 2 more teams in this mock. So if you are tuned in and you want to get in a quick mock with me, I'm posting in the sleeper thread. So if you have sleeper and you see my name, C Nimi, jump in. We got 2 teams left. And if you're watching the replay, I'm so sorry that we are now about 4 minutes and we haven't started this mock draft live yet. So appreciate everyone for tuning in on what is even today? Is it like I don't even remember what day it is today. It's Monday. So I hope you're having a good Monday. We need one more team. We got 4 viewers. I know Nate's one of them. So the other 3, if you are not in the mock with us, what are you doing? Jump in this mock with us, posting in the sleeper thread. So we'll see. We got a full mock ready to go. Full mock ready to go. We got Nate as we're waiting, talking a little bit about I don't know what to do with McKissick on the wire. I got Taylor, Javonte, Hines, Robinson, and B-Rob, and ETN. Oh, dude, I don't even think it matters. If you got Taylor, Javonte, and ETN, like, bro, you're good. But I know we always play for the upside, so I do think JD. I think it could be worth an ad. Who are your receivers? Who are your receivers? We are about to start this. Like I said, we need one more person to join in this draft. I think I got a friend messaging in that they want to get in this mock draft. So I think we're about to have that one spot. My man, we are full. Noah, thank you for dropping on by. We are starting this mock draft off right. We have Christian McCaffrey off at the 101. That is what we like to see. That is what we like to see. Chris McCaffrey is our 101 on the channel. You know that. If you tuned into our Trading Grades channel with me and Noah, I've also preached that. Jonathan Taylor at the 1-2, Cooper Kupp at the 1-3. Do think it's interesting. And then Nate's coming back talking more about his team. So he's got Jerry Jeudy, Godwin, Kirk, and Lazard. Okay, so you went really running back heavy. I like the Godwin. I like Jeudy. I would probably try to shoot for some more high upside wide receivers since you already have like the difference between McKissick and Hines isn't really value to me. Is it James Robinson? Is that the other running back? I assume that's who you have, but I think you have good depth at running back. I wouldn't be worried about adding McKissick. We already had an auto draft with Derrick Henry. I am now on the board, and I probably should do like my top 30 overall rankings. Oh, poor Greenman just jumped back on. But I've been doing a lot of. I'm doing Dalvin Cook. Just based on my rankings, based on what I'm thinking. I've done a few drafts. Like last night, I did. I went Jamar Chase at the 1-6 in my paid $20 buy-in ESPN league. So if you haven't checked that out, I hate the ESPN platform. Like, to be honest, like the drafting platform, trying to show that live, like people were like, who's even on the board? Like Sleeper, you've laid it out so nice. So props to you for doing that. But yeah, what Dalvin Cook 1-5. Like I would have appreciated if a Derrick Henry fell to me, but I think just taking the value at Dalvin Cook at 1-5. Now, if you haven't tuned in to my top 10 running back video, that has been having blown up here recently. So that's been super cool. Had someone debating me today that just saying that Jamar Chase at the wide receiver 3 in my rankings is a little bit high. Is Jamar Chase at wide receiver 3? Is that too high for you guys? He said that Jamar Chase is not proven. Those are the type of guys that you need in your fantasy football league to just do it. We have YouTube link. Never mind. Clay, I think you found it. Clay, are you in here? Let me know. Clay CLE78. Let me know if you're in the chat on YouTube. I'll give you a shout out here too. But yeah, Jamar Chase 1-9. I think that's relatively good value. Then we had Joe Mixon off the board. DeAndre Swift there by my man Noah. Okay, also can we talk about Najee Harris with the Liz Frank injury? A little bit scary drafting him at 1-8 for me. Personally, right now, Joe Mixon's above him. I think I can't. Off the top, I don't even know where I have Najee ranked. I think I have him as my running back 7 or 8. But yeah, I'm taking Joe Mixon over him. I think I'm taking Swift over him. I think I'm taking Davonte over him. But like, you don't have to do it. Just let one of your other league mates draft Najee Harris. I never like drafting a running back that's already going to be injured. Also, this to people that are doing this start where they're drafting Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara at the turn. I've been now seeing this all over the place, and it's incredible. It is incredible when you're able to get those 2 high upside running backs, 2 running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield. Hopefully, Alvin Kamara, based on Drew Davenport. He's like a lawyer on Twitter that posts like a lot of like cool stuff about fantasy. So if you haven't checked him out, check him out. But talks a little bit about how Alvin Kamara is looking like he's probably not going to be suspended until 2023. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable drafting him, but I'm also a little bit nervous about the whole thing. So are you guys drafting Alvin Kamara? Let me know. Saquon Barkley at the 2-1, and then Noah comes back with Travis Kelce at the 2-2, Aaron Jones at the 2-3. I really absolutely love Aaron Jones this year. So especially when you're able to do what Nate did, where you have Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones, you kind of go robust RB, but like the value is just so there. And that's more about what I've been seeing about some of these running backs. Like as we get closer to the season, when you're doing mocks 2 weeks ago, these wide receivers are being pushed up the board. People are drafting Tyreek Hill at the 2-3, 2-4. Now all of a sudden you're starting to see the running back disparity happening where running backs are getting pushed up the board. So I think it's just always an interesting thing that happens all offseason. Noah in the sleeper chat says he agrees on the Najee doo-doo. Then we had Mr. Ladarko Shash, thoughts on I just totally botched your name, but thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, guys, please subscribe. We're trying to grow our subscribers. We're putting out videos. I just put another video out today. We're going to be putting out videos tomorrow, YouTube shorts. So just trying to provide all the value you can as we head into the football season, NFL season with fantasy football, so that you guys continue to grind and dominate your leagues. Thoughts on Chubb? Not a Chubb believer. Chubb does not have the same upside that I almost missed my pick because I'm over here chatting it up. Doesn't have the same upside as some of these other running backs that have the receiving game work. And so that is exactly why I'm off of Chubb. So I would be taking like these guys on the board. I'm taking Javonte, Lenny. I'm taking those guys both over Nick Chubb because typically Nick Chubb doesn't fall this far. But I'm not even interested at Nick Chubb at this pick. CeeDee Lamb would have been interesting if he was on the board, but that is why I'm taking Javonte here. We're going double robust RB. Feeling pretty good about my running back core as we begin with. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I would even still, it was proven that when Nick Chubb, even when Kareem Hunt got hurt, they're still going to put Deandre Johnson. They're still not going to be giving him the receiving work. And that is why like I said, I'm kind of off him. Still don't get why Doug's isn't a first round pick this year. Yeah, again, Stephon Diggs at the 2.6 is what they're saying. Like, that's a crazy value. If you're able to get Austin Eckler and Stephon Diggs, you are flipping out about how great your team is. Like, it's just great value that's being provided when you're able to get a stud running back and then a stud receiver. So then we had Davonte Adams, Stephon Diggs. The fact that Tyreek Hill went ahead of Davonte Adams and Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb is ridiculous. I had someone today debating me on Tyreek Hill, saying that I had Tyreek Hill not in my top 10 rankings for fantasy football this year for wide receivers, saying I was ridiculous, that I was an idiot. But I don't think I'm an idiot. He's playing with a new team. Stephon Diggs is Tyreek Hill. We know that he's a top 5 NFL talent at wide receiver. But the thing is, sometimes the talent at wide receiver doesn't translate to actual fantasy football production. And that is why I'm a little bit off him this year. So after I drafted Javonte Williams, we had Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, Nick Chubb, Leonard Fournette, Mark Andrews, and then Michael Pittman off the board. Michael Pittman is absolutely flying up the draft boards as we speak. You could get him in the back end of the 3rd, early 4th, almost like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And then I think all the fantasy football analysts said, Michael Pittman's going to be the breakout this year. And what do you know? He's sitting here at 3-2. I don't know. I think it's overhyped. The fact that people are taking Michael Pittman ahead of A.J. Brown is ridiculous to me. A little bit ridiculous to me. We had Zeke and then James Conner off the board. And what do you know? We are looking at, so we could go Pitts here or A.J. Brown. I'm going A.J. Brown here, and that is what I'm doing. We had Nate Brown say, Hill looked great with Tua the other night. I know. I just don't put that much into the preseason. Maybe if they target him all the time, then it's going to look really great for Tyreek Hill. But they still have to compete with Waddle. He's competing with Waddle. And then we had to compete with Kelsey. But Tua's not the same level as Patrick Mahomes. If Tyreek Hill gets 150 targets this year, I will walk back my statement. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I think we're actually going to see Tyreek Hill be a high-end wide receiver 2. Maybe he's a low-end wide receiver 1, but I just don't see the upside. He doesn't have that top 5 upside. And that's what you're shooting for when you're drafting these guys. Oh, Clay 78. Dude, you just jumped. Oh, gosh. Just got in. You just missed it, man. Are you here in the chat? I know you were jumping into the YouTube. Are you watching the YouTube and you missed your pick? Let me know in the comments. He burned my Eagles D. Yeah, Nate. I know he did look good, but the other thing too, and I know people showed the video on Twitter today about how he did, like, everyone's like, well, he underthrew Tyreek Hill. If he had scored a touchdown, then like that Patrick Mahomes would have thrown a touchdown. And then someone like posted a video like Patrick Mahomes underthrowing him. I just think it's not going to be the same. Like, I mean, I just don't think Tua has the arm strength that Patrick Mahomes has to be able to lead Tyreek Hill in the appropriate ways. Like I said, I don't think Tyreek Hill is an untalented wide receiver. I'm just talking purely on a fantasy football basis, and I would much rather take the upside shot on Davonte Adams, Stephon Diggs, or CeeDee Lamb in this draft at that pick. I would even take Mike Evans or Deebo Samuel over Tyreek Hill, and I know that's bold, but that's why I'm never taking Tyreek Hill in like any of my drafts. Same, skip them both. Connor's going to be a massive disappointment at his ADP. Completely agree with that statement. To be honest, aren't going to respect to that degree, and he'll be like RB17. So people are in the chat talking a little bit about James Conner. James Conner for me is, I think I have him as my RB13 or 14 right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking Travis Etienne. Maybe not. Maybe I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm taking Travis Etienne for sure over James Conner. I need to go back in my rankings now that it's late at night and I'm forgetting my rankings, but I definitely know I'm not getting a lot of James Conner just because of how drafts are falling. So after I drafted AJ Brown, we had Kyle Pitts. I was, of course, looking at Kyle Pitts too. I think that auto for you, Clay 78, but, or CLE 78, however you want to say your sleeper username. So I like that pick, even though it wasn't auto. Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Darren Waller, super early for Darren Waller, Travis Etienne, Deontay Johnson, and then we will see what happens here at the turn. But appreciate all 5 of my viewers for stopping in. Like I said, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, like and subscribe as we continue to grind and grow your fantasy football knowledge and just be able to talk and enjoy fantasy, because we will be doing like waiver wire ads, start and sits. We'll be doing a lot more lives during the season. I'm going to be trying to go live like every night, maybe every other night, depending on what happens, what our routine and schedule gets down to as a channel, to be able to help you guys like just talk through fantasy, because that's what I want to do. I'm no expert, not yet, but I have been playing fantasy since 2007, have a lot of good insights. So hopefully some of those good insights help you take it to the chip, win some money, or win bragging rights over your friends. After Deontay Johnson at the 311, we have Josh Allen at the 312, and then Cortland Sutton at the 4-1. Noah, let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. I would love to. Right now, you have Swift, Kelsey, Deontay Johnson, Breece Hall, liking that draft. George Kittle at the 4-3, and then Justin Herbert at the 4-4. We'll see what happens, who falls back to us. Typically, like right now, I'm looking and there seems to be some pretty good value at wide receivers. All of my tight ends are off the board that I would even consider at the 4-8, which I typically, I haven't drafted from the 1-5 in a long time. I think once you kind of get to like the 1-5 to 1-7 range is like really difficult. Because you kind of have to feel it out, feel the runs, things like that happen. Feel the runs, not like in that way. Don't take it that way. Like if you feel the runs, like run to the bathroom. But taking what can happen on what happens in the draft. Sometimes you have to reach maybe slightly when you're kind of in the middle. I know you also really have to reach when you're on the end of the draft, but meaning 1 or 12. But yeah, so after we had Justin Herbert, we had Cam Akers and Elijah Mitchell. Cam Akers, off Cam Akers, especially the fact that he's potentially already injured for this year. Not injured for this year, but he's going to be heading into the season dealing with his injury. I don't like to draft these guys that potentially are already going to be, like, especially when you're dealing with a hamstring or knee injury. The only player that I'm comfortable drafting like that is Mike Evans, because I swear to everything, Mike Evans is always dealing with a hamstring injury. It's just his reoccurring thing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with him. We had J.K. Dobbins off the board. So we are sitting here with wide receiver galore. And I'm just going to be taking DJ Moore. We got an upgraded quarterback in Baker Mayfield. He's probably going to be seeing somewhere around 165 targets. So what is he going to be like he always is? A high-end wide receiver too. And maybe if he catches more than 4 touchdowns, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if he does catch more than 4 touchdowns, all of a sudden we're looking at a low-end wide receiver 1, and I'm getting him at 4.8. So that's kind of my some of my thing. Okay, my little sister is coming in. Of course, I'm at home right now, so she's hearing me through another room. Thanks, sis. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for supporting this channel. If you did not like and subscribe, I will just leave this draft and come out and like it on your phone. Clay78 is setting his queue. Clay, my man, are you watching it and you're just losing it? Sorry, man. That's happening. After I drafted DJ Moore, we had Mike Williams and then Jalen Waddle off the board. Let me know, like in this thing, who are you drafting? Are you drafting, if DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle, and Terry McLaurin are all on the board, who are you drafting? Are you drafting? I like DJ Moore. Like, that's my favorite wide receiver out of that group. Like, sometimes Deontay Johnson is falling. I think after his great preseason game, that's why he's getting hyped up. Terry McLaurin, AJ Dillon at the 412. Wow. I mean, AJ Dillon over David Montgomery, even over Josh Jacobs, I'm not even going to say this. One of my good friends, Camden, is a huge Antonio Gibson fan. And we've been seeing Antonio Gibson fall because of all the rumors. But now, even with what's happened with Brian Robinson, I just like taking AJ Dillon over Antonio Gibson. That's also another interesting take. Are we taking AJ Dillon? Are we taking Antonio Gibson, knowing that Antonio Gibson probably is going to get the bulk of the work for the first 4 weeks? What do you guys think? Who are we taking as a channel? What do we think? Because I'm thinking I might take Antonio Gibson, but is that bold? Is that me like just overthinking it? Because I do know that on a points per game basis, Antonio Gibson's only been an RB2. He's been getting close to that RB1 territory the last 2 years, just due to volume and due to other running backs getting injured, which happens every year. But let me know what you think. So after AJ Dillon went off, we had Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. You know, if Patrick Mahomes had fallen to 5.5, I think I might have pulled the trigger. I do have Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback 2 this year over Justin Herbert. I think that is bold, but I also think their team's just not going to be good, so they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more than maybe they have. LMAO Fish is saying in the sleeper chat that Terry this late. He can't believe Terry went that late. I just think people are finally realizing, like, Terry is Terry. Terry is a wide receiver 2 that has upside that we constantly think he's going to have upside, but honestly, I would debate that Allen Robinson has the same upside that Terry McLaurin has. And we were on the clock, and I'm just chatting it away. So we have Dalton Schultz on the board. I'm intrigued by that. But this is a 2 flex. And so I'm just going to take the talent of DK Metcalf. I know a lot of people are off DK Metcalf this year, especially with Geno Smith or Drew Lock being on the board. But DK Metcalf, like, sometimes you just got to draft talent. Like, that's also why I'm drafting AJ Brown. Nothing has changed in this situation. Everyone's compared fighting, talking a little bit about, oh, he's got to compete with targets with Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith. Yeah, that he was competing with Derrick Henry and like Julio Jones, and they weren't throwing him the ball a ton. So even if he gets the same amount of targets, he's a hyper efficient wide receiver. Same thing with DK Metcalf. I think the talent's going to win out. Now, I don't think he's going to be like a wide receiver 1. I don't think he has top 5 upside. But when you're drafting him as your wide receiver 3, I do think his flex appeal is very boomer bust. And so I would take DK Metcalf, of course, over Gabe Davis, Jerry Jeudy, Hollywood Brown. So that's why I'm taking DK Metcalf there. That might be a little bit, you might not agree with that at all, but that is what I'm doing. So after DK Metcalf, I drafted DK Metcalf. We had Gabe Davis and then Jerry Jeudy come off the board. I don't know. We'll see. I typically too, I've been liking doing the late tight end build. I've been liking hitting 2 running backs, absolutely hitting up wide receivers, maybe drafting a quarterback if one falls, and then just drafting more wide receivers and then waiting on tight end. I think there's the value at tight end, kind of where we're getting right now. Once Dalton Schultz goes off the board, the difference between like TJ Hawkinson, Zach Ertz, Dawson Knox, like, it's all kind of relatively the same. Now, I'm really hoping for a breakout this year for TJ Hawkinson. Got allowed in dynasty leagues, but we'll see if that happens. Probably not, because he's competing with targets with Amon St. Brown, Jamison Williams when he comes back, and DeAndre Swift. So we did have Dalton Schultz go off the board at 5'12", but we had Gabe Davis, Jerry Jeudy, Kyler Murray, Josh Jacobs, Brandon Cooks, Hollywood Brown, Dalton Schultz, and then we will see who happens next. But to all 4 viewers, for everyone watching the replay, I appreciate you guys being here. Means a lot as we continue to grind on this channel, as we continue to try to become better fantasy football players day in and day out. Juju Smith-Schuster at the 6'1". I'm loving Juju. I've always been a big Juju truther, and I think a lot of his situation had to do with injuries, Big Ben not being able to throw the ball very far down the field, and I think that really benefited Deontay Johnson. But I also think Deontay Johnson and Juju are actually going to show how talented they are this year, because they're going to be able to go out past 15 yards on their routes. Adam Thielen at the 6'2", and then Chris Godwin at the 6'3". For Nate, I do like Chris Godwin. I prefer, if you can get Chris Godwin, I mean, this is a good value, but I prefer getting Chris Godwin as my wide receiver 3. But if he does come back by week 4 and he's full go, all of a sudden getting him at the 6'3" is going to feel like freaking great value. We had Amari Cooper at the 6'4", David Montgomery at 6'5", Joe Burrow at the 6'6". Did Antonio Gibson go off the board, or am I just tripping? Yeah, he went at the 5'3". Antonio Gibson went at the 5'3". I was thinking if he fell back to me, I might draft him. But whatever. I'm back on the clock. No tight ends that I like. We do potentially have a quarterback like a Jalen Hurts that we're interested in, but we're going to punt quarterback, and we're just going to draft Michael Thomas as our wide receiver 4. I am feeling absolutely fire about my wide receiver situation right now. AJ Brown, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Michael Thomas with 2 stud running backs. Feeling good. Yeah, Jalen Hurts goes out to 6'9". Maybe we missed out. Maybe we could have gotten upside, but I especially love the fact when you're able to draft like a Russell Wilson, Dak, Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance, like someone like that late. And even if you hit these early positions and able to grab that value, grab that depth, I think it really helps build out your team. So if you do the late round quarterback, late round tight end, I really like that. So next pick, we're probably going to be looking at the quarterback or tight end position if someone does fall. But after I drafted Michael Thomas, are you guys also, let me know in the YouTube comments, Michael Thomas, are we in on him? Are we in on him, or are we like, we out on Michael Thomas? I think he's coming back. I think this is his comeback year. And I know Noah does as well, because he's telling me to chill in the sleeper chat. But drafting's too good. My team's just too good. Maybe I'm just being too hype up here. But Jalen Hurts at 6'9", Darnell Mooney at the 6'10", CH at the 6'11". Also, they cut Derek Gore, so Rojo does have a job still. Amon St. Brown at the 6'12", Rashard Bateman at the 7'1", and then DeAndre Hopkins at the 7'2". DeAndre Hopkins, what is this for this guy? My wide receiver 3. I do feel comfortable knowing that you're getting DeAndre Hopkins at the 7'2" as your wide receiver 3 in the 7th round. Feels like really good value. We are about to be back up on the clock. And you know, we're feeling pretty good about our team so far. We like our starting lineup because, you know, it's going to look good. I was going to potentially draft TJ Hawkinson, but he just went off the board. He was one of the players I was looking at. I am not into Dallas Goedert for the same exact reasons that I said AJ Brown can produce. Dallas Goedert, of course, produced when Zach Ertz got traded, but now he's competing with targets besides just Devontae Smith. So I think he's going to get a little bit less work. And Dallas Goedert goes off the board, so I don't even have to worry about that. No running backs that I'm super interested in here. Like I said, I can wait on the quarterback position. So this is where we then just go based on our rankings and we draft Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore on Sleeper, still the fact that he's like overall 91 is still ridiculous to me. Dude's a stud. Like, okay, let's talk about this range of wide receivers. Like, I love this range of wide receivers in every sleeper draft, or even just every fantasy football draft in general. The Drake London, Devontae Smith, Brandon Ayuk, and Elijah Moore. If you can get one of those guys every draft, like you're shooting for upside. Like, there's nothing wrong with any of those guys. I mean, they're getting drafted in the 7th round, so of course, or 7th or 8th round. So maybe there's something wrong with them. Maybe they don't still have the same upside as talent as the other guys, but they're a little bit unproven. But they do have the ceiling. Like let's talk about each of these. Elijah Moore, upside because he showed what he could do last year. But granted, Joe Flacco's now his quarterback until Zach Wilson comes back. Drake London, wide receiver 1 on Atlanta. They're going to have to come back a lot. Devontae Smith, wide receiver 2, playing across from AJ Brown. They're not going to be able to double him. They're going to have to throw the ball. Everyone's hype up on Jalen Hurts, but they haven't. They're hyped on Jalen Hurts, but they don't like Devontae Smith. Brandon Ayuk, same thing. Trey Lance likes to throw the ball deep. All of a sudden, Brandon Ayuk gets a lot more value than when maybe he was playing with Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, those are my thoughts on those guys. That's why I draft him. Cordell Patterson at the 7-6, Kareem Hunt at the 7-7, Hunter Renfrow at the 7-8, Tony Pollard at the 7-9, Brandon Ayuk at the 7-10, Devontae Smith at the 7-11, then Alan Lazard at the 7-12. Taking Alan Lazard over Drake London, that is ridiculous. Maybe not. But to my 4 viewers here, are you taking Alan Lazard over? You taking Alan Lazard over Drake London? Like, really? I know he might be injured, but when you're drafting him as your wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, I don't know. No, we will also do grades after this. Also, if you want to take a picture and tweet your team out onto Twitter, tag me in it. I will definitely retweet you. So, like I said, we're all here to grow together. Love to give you a grade too after this draft if you are in here. No, I'll give you a grade. I'll give a grade to my team. Nate, I'll give you a grade as well. Nate, thank you for drafting Drake London. Thank you for letting the man stop falling. Okay, Damian Pierce at the 8-5. Where are we as a community on Damian Pierce? Like, are we believing the preseason hype? I don't know. Okay, also, shout out to my man. Dude, I'm totally botching your name. Also, thank you so much for being in the stream, for watching the stream, for contributing. Oh, I'm on the clock. Let me make my pick. Trey Lance, if he had fallen to me, that was going to be my pick. But you know what? We're just going to take Russell Wilson. But yeah, thanks so much for stopping in, man. If you haven't subscribed already, like I said, like and subscribe. I'm going to be trying to provide more value. And if you want to get in a mock with me like tomorrow night, definitely hit me up because that is the way we get into these mocks. But yeah, Rodgers wide receiver 1 over Mariota's wide receiver 1. I totally agree. It might even be Mariota's wide receiver 2, depending on if you evaluate Kyle Pitts as a wide receiver or not. But I think the thing that we have to consider is Allen Robinson actually going to be the wide receiver 1 with the Green Bay Packers? Like, is it going to be the Romeo? How do you say it? I always say it wrong, and I know he like made sure to like say how you should say his name. I think it's Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs. Like, is Romeo Dobbs going to be the wide receiver 1? Is it going to be Christian Watson? I mean, Robert Tunnion's also there. Like, I think we're kind of not considering how many targets the targets might be spread out. Mariota, the Falcons are going to be so bad on defense, they're going to have to come back. So that's kind of my thinking with that. So then we had Damien Harris, Tom Brady, Robert Woods, Chris Olave, Kadarius Toney, Zach Ertz, Treylon Burks, Christian Kirk, and now I am back up on the clock. We're looking at, we already drafted a ton of wide receivers. We haven't drafted a tight end, but we're still going to punt tight end. And we're going to be taking James Cook. If you haven't checked out my rookie running back video, James Cook is my running back 3 for the rookie rankings. So let me know. Are you taking James Cook over Damian Pierce? I know Damian Pierce went earlier, but James Cook has a 2nd round draft capital, is going to be used by probably week 8, a lot more than what people are considering, beating out Devin Singletary for touches. So let me know. James Cook or Damian Pierce, who are you taking? Let me know in the chat right now. Also, shout out to Feed Me More. Saying proud of us for not taking Pierce in the 5th or 6th round. Yeah, if someone does that, someone's going to do that in your home league. Someone's going to take Damian Pierce super early. Let that happen. Let that happen and draft James Cook in the 8th or 9th round. You're going to like feel a lot better by yourself. And like I said, James Cook to the moon. Ramondre Stevenson at the 9-6, Aaron Rodgers at the 9-7, Dawson Knox at the 9-8, Rashard Penny at the 9-9, and then Dak Prescott at the 9-10. Kirk Cousins at the 9-11. I know Noah does like his, definitely likes his Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins too. He's been growing on me. Him and Derek Carr have definitely been growing on me as the offseason has continued, and we're about to start the season. Then we had Melvin Gordon and James Robinson off the board. Our team right now, we are looking at tight end because we need a tight end. We've drafted, if we look at our team so far, we have Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Michael Thomas, Elijah Moore, and James Cook. So we will probably be going tight end here. I'm so glad Noah didn't take my tight end target because he got Hines, Garrett Wilson, Matthew Stafford, George Pickens. George Pickens, of course, has been climbing up the draft boards as well based on his play. I'm excited for George Pickens. Sad for Chase Claypool. Excited for George Pickens. Pat Frymuth at the 10-6. Will my man follow? Will this guy drop? Will he drop to 10-8? Will he drop? Also, for everyone here, if I know this is my main channel. Actually, here, yeah, my boy Cole Kmet just fell to me. So drafting Cole Kmet, tight end 1, feeling so great about that. He was allergic to the end zone last year, but in the preseason yesterday, he did catch a touchdown. So let's go Cole Kmet. Maybe he'll find the end zone a lot more this year. Me and Noah also are a part of a YouTube channel called Trades and Grades. So if you enjoy this content, we do a lot more longer form content over there, and we are on Apple Podcasts as Trades and Grades. So like I said, this is my main YouTube channel, but also contribute there with those guys, and it's a blast. So like I said, if I don't make enough videos for you, which hopefully I do, because I'm trying to put out like a video every other day. If that's not enough for you, let me know. Try to do a live every night. So if that's not enough, then also go check out that, because we're trying to grow that as well. So I'm a lot more dynasty fantasy football focused. So you play in a lot of dynasty fantasy football leagues. That is there, but we also do talk about redraft as the season kind of goes on. So then we had Darrell Henderson at the 10-9, Mike Gesicki at the 10-10, Michael Carter at the 10-11, Khalil Herbert at the 10-12, Michael Gallup at the 11-1. Michael Gallup. I think I'm taking Chase Claypool and Julio Jones. I hate to say I'm taking those two guys over Michael Gallup. Like, we don't know when Michael Gallup's going to come back. We also don't know exactly what the situation is going to be with his health. If it's going to be like week 7 by week 8 by the time he's back, like I think that's sometimes what we don't consider with these players. Like, if they don't come back in time, like we might already be out of playoff contention. So you want to have the best record you can going into like week 7 or week 8 so that you position yourself appropriately and can make the proper waiver wire moves. I have 20 seconds on the board. We're looking at the team. We're probably just going to take best available because we've kind of blended it pretty well. And I'm just going to draft Alexander Mattison. Potential reports. So of course, I handcuff him with my Dalvin Cook pick. So that's great. But even better, he might potentially get traded. And imagine if he's a running back 1 somewhere else, and I just got him as my running back 4 on my team. Feeling absolutely great about that. And then some of these wide receivers, a lot of them are the same to me. So I will be able to draft one of those guys coming back at the 12-8. So that was kind of my thought process with that. But yeah, appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, haven't liked and subscribed yet, well, what are you doing? Like and subscribe. We are trying to just become the best fantasy football players that we can. After Alexander Mattison, we have Jarvis Landry with New Orleans. I think he was a lot higher for me until I realized Michael Thomas is going to be ready for the season. Albert O at the 11-7 auto. This is why you never should let sleeper auto for you. Drafting 2 decent tight ends back to back. MVS, Russell Gage, Rashard White, Kenneth Gainwell. The fact that Gainwell is so low still on the sleepers like rankings just tells you all you need to know. Kenneth Gainwell at the 11-11 is a steal. Honestly, I think I prefer Noah. I know you're in here watching this. I think I prefer Gainwell over Hines. Like, honestly, not that I think Hines will have better week to week value, but I think Gainwell has a higher upside. And so I think I would have taken, Hines would have been gone too. So just the way that you were able to get that was super fire. But let me know too. 3 viewers right now. If you guys haven't had your fantasy football leagues, let me know when you guys are starting your, when's your draft? Is it this weekend? Hopefully, it has to be this weekend. So like I said, let's prepare together. We will be doing another mock tomorrow night. So if you want to, please subscribe to the channel, follow me, send me a message on Twitter or at Sleeper. CNEME13 is my sleeper name. So would love to connect with you and draft with you. So after Kenneth Gainwell, we had Derek Carr off the board, and we'll see what happens next. Like I said, we're kind of waiting to see. We are going to be drafting wide receiver heavy here. We're going to need a backup tight end and quarterback at some point, but we'll get those later. Of course, we're not drafting any defenses. I think that also messed me up. I did an ESPN mock. I did an ESPN paid league yesterday. So if you haven't checked out that video, I drafted a really fire team. Granted, it was only 10 teams. Like my thing is like, I got asked into this league. Brandon Blanco, he's also a supporter of the channel, invited me into the league. And all I can say is, if you don't have 2 more friends, like I think we need to reevaluate our life if we can't get 2 more people. Granted, I know it was a $20 buy-in, but come on. But it really messed me up. Like I was getting like Jalen Hurts in like the 6th round or like end of the 6th, early 7th. I was like, this is so weird. So if you want to enjoy that, I posted that one yesterday. I thought my thumbnail was pretty good, but we'll see. My thumbnail game's getting a little bit more impressive. But after I'll stop talking about my thumbnails and we'll talk about how Hunter Henry, JD McKissick, Tyler Algier, Tyler Higbee, Christian Watson, and Brian Robinson at the 12-6 went off the board. Not RIP, but get better soon, Brian Robinson. Thinking of you. The Caleb Nemi YouTube channel with 64 subscribers is sending you good vibes. And then we got Clay78. Clay78, are you watching the YouTube at all? Oh, sniper. And I'm back on the board at 12-7, and we're looking at wide receivers that we were interested in. I mean, we kind of like Rondale Moore. We like Jahan Dotson, Tolbert. Is there any running backs that we're feeling good about? No, not really. No tight ends that we're like super excited about. So we're just gonna roll with Rondale Moore. I know he was on top of the board, so I don't want to hear that. Oh, you draft on top of, you're just drafting the best available player. Like I don't necessarily even think like I could have argued Devontae Parker, Jahan Dotson, Tolbert. I thought about Tolbert a lot. That was one of my things. So I don't know. Would you? Okay, Rondale Moore versus Jahan Dotson, and it's an interesting one for me, just because we're basing it like the Commanders still have Terry McLaurin. Curtis Samuel is coming back from injury, and so is Logan Thomas. So how many targets is Jahan Dotson actually going to get? Tua at the 12-10, David Njoku at the 12-11, Jameson Williams at the 12-12. But yeah, appreciate everyone tuning in on their Monday night. Like I said, we're doing another one tomorrow night. If you haven't checked out my rookie running back rankings, just check out that video. You don't even have to watch the video if you don't want, but do your boy a solid. Just view it, like it. Helps me, helps the algorithm, helps more people find this channel. Listen, we don't want too many people to find this channel. Otherwise, your league mates are gonna know all the tips and tricks, but maybe some. And listen, my guy fell, Jalen Tolbert. Feeling really good, really good about my roster. I think this might be one of my favorite builds I've done here in a while. Being able to, Mike Davis, Clay78, good pick, my man. These are the type of values. Sleeper hasn't adjusted to the fact that it's looking like Mike Davis is going to start week 1. Now, what type of value is that? It might not be great value. Mike Davis might not actually be talented, but any running back starting for the Baltimore Ravens is going to give you 12 or 13 points. And that is enough to help you win week 1, especially if you put them in your flex, one of your flex spots. That's pretty proven production. So I would be looking at your redraft leagues if Mike Davis is on the waivers. If not, especially in maybe some of you play Dynasty, also be looking for Mike Davis on the waivers. I have Mike Davis in a decent amount of leagues because I was an idiot and thought that he was going to be decent for the Falcons last season. Yes, okay, maybe I didn't think the value of Mike Davis in the 7th last year was that terrible. But clearly it bit me in the butt because Cordell Patterson was the proper pick, and I could have got him in the 10th round. Parker Galladay, never drafting Galladay. Absolutely never. Just don't even do it. He's literally just cashing a paycheck and showing up to work. Mark Ingram, Jameis Winston, Nico Collins. I like that pick, Noah. Like that pick a lot. Ronald Jones, DJ Chark, KJ Osborne, Romeo Dubs, and then Marlon Mack at the 14-4. I mean, we're just kind of getting these late rounds. So we're going to be looking at, I think we're going to be looking at not running back. We're probably going to be looking at tight end and a receiver kind of coming up. Also, like I said, to the 5 viewers for being here, appreciate you guys sticking through this mock with me. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We're trying to grow channel. We're trying to get to 70 now. So be a part of the 60s so that someday you can come back and say, listen, I remember you when there was only 60 subscribers and you helped me win a fantasy football league. And you don't even have to donate any money. I'm drafting Noah Fant. I think I've talked about this enough. Like the difference between what he had last year and this year is no different. And being able to get him as my backup, I think Noah Fant should still be a top 14 tight end because I think he does have that upside. Still the same talent, still young. Those are some of my thoughts on Noah Fant. Let's see. Nate coming in saying on the wire, I got Tolbert, Pierce, Gallup, Bell. Should I drop B-Rob for any of these or hold on to him? I would just hold because we got to figure out exactly what's happening. If B-Rob's only out for let's say 4 to 6 weeks, then I would just hold. But once we should be getting word probably soon about like how his recovery is going or like what the timeline is going to be. And once we know that, then I think Like because honestly, the difference for me, but like I know I drafted Tolbert, and I know you're talking about Alec Pierce, probably not Damian Pierce. But I mean, the differences between those like 3 or 4 guys to me is like pretty similar. I mean, I prefer Tolbert and Pierce. I do like Gallup too. So if you want to take the bet, if you have the running back depth, then sure, maybe grab one of those high upside young wide receivers. But otherwise, I would just hold them because Brian Robinson by week 10, if he does play, is going to be a valuable asset to your team. Where maybe you pick the wrong guy out of those and you don't end up getting to add the right guy from waivers. I think that's the way I would look at it. I'm back on the clock. And Alec Pierce is sitting there staring me down, but it is the final pick, and I did draft. And I think we're just going to go Matt Ryan as our QB2. Matt Ryan as the QB2. So I kind of got off on a tangent there, but we had, after I drafted Noah Fant, we had Wan'Dale Robinson, Jamal Williams, Raheem Mostert, Joshua Palmer, Gerald Everett, Mac Jones, Chuba Hubbard, Odell Beckham, and Matt Ryan. Like I said, if you are still here on the stream, let me know your team. Nate, I will grade yours. No, I will grade yours. But if anyone else is here and has been watching and participating, would love to give your team a grade. So Clay78, I don't know if you're watching on here too. So in either chat, just say you want me to grade your team, and I will. Nate, am I the only one you follow on YouTube? My man, yes, that's what I like to hear. I don't believe it, but I appreciate your thoughts and kindness in my heart. You know, if you want a second, I got a good second channel for you. If you want a second sub, but if you just want to keep me in the heart so you can, watch me once a day, that's all I care about. That is all I care about. But appreciate everyone for tuning in. We are almost done with this mock, but we are going to be doing grades. So let me go through the team. So Nate's been commenting, so we'll walk through Nate's team here. So Nate, of course, I do not, someday I'm going to get flagged by YouTube for your sleeper name. And, when that happens, like, I just want you to know, I will contact you and I will find you, and we're going to have to make you switch your sleeper name. But until then, we'll just leave it. So we have Joe Mixon at the 110. Joe Mixon is a top 5 running back for me. So yep, I like that for you. Aaron Jones at the 2-3. Also, Aaron Jones is a top 10 running back for me. I actually have Aaron Jones above Alvin Kamara and DeAndre Swift. I know that's bold. I think that's a bold take. I don't know. These 3 guys are super close to me. I do prefer Saquon to over DeAndre Swift and Alvin Kamara. Let me know. Is that ridiculous? I don't know. So after Aaron Jones, you also get Travis Etienne. So we want really robust RB, but I think this is one of the years that robust RB really works well if you can hammer out the wide receivers in the 5 to 8 range. Nate's saying sleeper name was created in 2016. Yeah, I'm glad you got him to sleeper that early. It was an interesting app. George Kittle at the 4-3, so he locked down his tight end 1 position. Then he goes Brandon Cooks as his wide receiver 1. We don't feel great, but we also know the consistency. Chris Godwin at the 6-3. Brandon Ayuk at the 7-10, and Drake London at the 8-3. If you go our robust RB, this is exactly what you have to do to be able to have the upside shots on wide receivers. We remember from past years. Last year, Cooper Kupp was a 4th or 5th round pick. I'm trying to think of another. Deebo Samuel was like a 7th round pick last year. So you have to take these shots at these wide receivers that have the upside to potentially get to that same level if you are drafting early robust RB, and that is what Nate did. Then you got Dak Prescott as his quarterback 1, Garrett Wilson at the 10-3. I do like me some Garrett Wilson this year, even though the camp reports are saying that he's going to be the wide receiver 3 right now. Trust me, by middle of the season, Garrett Wilson will be the wide receiver 2. Rashard White at the 11-10, Tyler Algier at the 12-3. High upside running backs. I know they seem like backups right now, but if something were to happen to Lenny or Cordell Patterson somehow goes down, all of a sudden Tyler Algier, I know they're already talking about him starting, so good value. Jameson Williams, Romeo Dubs. I said it wrong, but however you say his name. And then Gus Edwards at the 15-10. Same exact reason I like Mike Davis. If anything happens to J.K. Dobbins, and I know Gus Edwards, his recovery is a little bit later, but especially if you draft him this late, he probably might make it on the waiver wire. Just a high upside shot. Then we had Noah, bold grades, Noah's team. Clay78, if you are in here, let me know if you want me to grade your team, because I know you commented a little bit earlier. But Noah went with DeAndre Swift at the 111. I think I said I kind of prefer Aaron Jones, but I know how drafts fall. Like, if you think that that's just an over, sometimes you can't do it. You don't want to look like an idiot. And I respect that. But I probably would not have taken DeAndre Swift. Then we had Travis Kelce at the 2-2. I just said that without giving like an explanation. So maybe I should go back to that, but enough said. Deontay Johnson at the 3-11. Deontay Johnson, it's hard. I still think I don't know. He's just getting pushed up the boards. He's a target hog. He is a target hog, but I think I might have, I don't know, 311. It's an interesting. We had Brees Hall at the 4-2. I do like me some Brees Hall. So you're starting off your team with 2 high upside running backs, Travis Kelce and then Deontay Johnson. Nate is also saying, didn't Carolina just get Chenault? Yes, they did just get Chenault, but it's not going to matter because I know he's talking to Superchat. They're talking about Robbie Anderson. Then we had Hollywood Brown at the 5'11", Adam Thielen at the 6'2", and then Devontae Smith. So we went hard wide receiver. Devontae Smith at 7'11", Tyler Lockett at the 2. This man loves him some Tyler Lockett this year. So he didn't necessarily, I mean, he kind of went robust RB, but he really didn't. And then he kind of just took the value that fell to him. Got Kirk Cousins as his quarterback 1. Then absolutely hammered running back with Hines, Gainwell, McKissick, especially with the fact that you have a little bit too more unproven running backs. You kind of have to lock up maybe some of these high upside backups. Nico Collins at the 13-11, and then KJ Osborne and Robbie Anderson. Noah, I'm giving your team, I'm just giving it a B, man. I am giving it a B. I think it's just because I'm not I don't love Swift. I think if it was another running back, like if you had drafted Saquon there, man, I think I would have given you a B+. And I know that's bold. I know Saquon's hard to reach on because you think you can get him in the second, maybe. Like if you had gotten DeAndre Swift and Saquon Barkley here, and then maybe gotten like George Kittle in the 4th, which I think you would have been able to do. I think I would have liked that build a little bit better. Also, Nate, I didn't give you a grade. Did I give you a grade? I'm giving it a B+, even though I'm not always a robust RB. I just think the upside you have between Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, and Travis Etienne, to bar an injury to one of those guys, is really solid. And you hit the high upside wide receivers to be able to compensate for all that. So Noah Lockett, yeah. Oh, sorry, man. Swift was my RB5 in points per game before his injury last year. Just saying. Oh, was RB5. Okay, I agree. I think there's a lot of upside with DeAndre Swift. Now, the basis of my ranking is not because I'm looking at DeAndre Swift and saying, man, he's injury prone. Because I do have CMC as my, running back 1. I have Saquon Barkley. I think he's my running back 6 or 7. So I have 2 really injury prone. I mean, I have Derrick Henry up there too. Like, I'm not scared of injuries. Injuries happen at the running back position. I just think, okay, let's talk about the Lions. Like, okay, you have TJ Hawkinson, Amonte Brown, Jameson Williams on the outside, DJ Chark. But what's the upside? Like, are they going to be better this year? Like, do you actually believe in Jared Goff? Because if the efficiency is not going to go up, and he actually has more target competition this year, we're banking on the fact that these other guys are going to get injured again. And that's kind of where I'm saying, like, the value of him being an actual workhorse, and the fact that even though I know he was getting 60 to 65% of the touches last year, so I can't bring up the fact that Jamal Williams is a talented running back, but we have seen, I mean, he is in a committee, and I just think the upside is not the same as maybe we've seen it in years past. And he's a really talented running back. Like, of course, like I would be taking DeAndre Swift over Alvin Kamara. So those are some of my thoughts. But as my phone decides to go off, my brother's giving me a call. He's probably upset about that DeAndre Swift take. But those are my thoughts, Noah. I know maybe we can debate that in a show sometime. We'll talk a little bit more about DeAndre Swift. Who else is here? Anyone here else want a team grade? Because otherwise I'll be doing my team. So my team, I drafted Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Michael Thomas, Elijah Moore, Russell Wilson, James Cook, Cole Kmet, Alexander Madison, Rondale Moore, Jalen Tolbert, Noah Fant, and then Matt Ryan. To be honest, guys, this is the best team I've drafted in a long time. I'm feeling good. I think I have like the high upside running backs, of course, and then the wide receivers that have the upside. I think I have the depth too. I'm giving myself an A, like not like an A-. I'm giving myself an A-. That's the best grade I've ever given myself on this channel. So hopefully you guys aren't hearing myself hype myself up, but that's kind of my thoughts with my team. Noah's come back in here. He's more proven the last 2 years than Saquon, no cap. Okay. But is DeAndre Swift, does he have the same upside as Saquon Barkley? Like, we've seen Saquon Barkley, like, at his peak, be putting up RB1 to RB2 points per game numbers. Now, will he ever get back to that? I don't know. But the fact is, I know Saquon's going to get the volume this year. And so that's where I'm going. How can we find these talented, high upside running backs that are also going to get the volume? Now, you could argue that DeAndre Swift has his volume. And listen, man, I'll be honest. I'm saying this take that DeAndre Swift is my RB11 on the fantasy football season. And I could be absolutely wrong. Like, there are, like I said, I've mentioned some guys that I prefer over DeAndre Swift, and I'm willing to die on that hill. But next year, you guys can all be laughing at me about DeAndre Swift. I'm at the 2 spot tomorrow. Went Chubb here, but most likely going to go CMC wide receiver, CMC, Andrews. Mr. I totally keep watching your name, man, but appreciate you being here. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe because I will be answering your questions all season long. Yeah, definitely go CMC for sure at 102. He's, like I said, he's my running back 1 on the season. And then, yeah, if Mark Andrews falls and you can go, like, my favorite start to a draft is going to be if you can go CMC, Mark Andrews, and then AJ Brown, or maybe if like a running back like an Aaron Jones falls. I've seen Aaron Jones fall quite a bit. I know like in this draft he went super early, but let's see like values that potentially fall like Aaron Jones. If Javonte Williams falls to you, like those are 2 running backs that I would be taking at the 211, and then maybe drafting like an AJ Brown at the 3-2 if Mark Andrews is gone. But I don't blame you at all if you go running back Mark Andrews and then another receiver or running back there at the 3-2. I think that is a great start to the draft, especially this year. Like I think drafting at the 1 or 2 spot is absolutely critical to potentially winning your league, because I think those guys have high upside and you're able to get great value in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Then you said might change that up though if Javonte falls. Yeah, no, exactly. Javonte, if he falls, I think that's great. Noah is still in here debating me, dude. I love you, bro. I can't miss in the 1st round, so I can't take Saquon there. Okay, that's fair. I think sometimes us as fantasy drafters, like we're so scared. Like, well, I'll take the risk in the 2nd round. I think sometimes like the fact is like 40% of our 1st round picks are gonna bust. So how do we, if we just acknowledge that going in, like Derrick Henry technically was a bust last year, even though he performed as an RB, almost an RB1 on a points per game basis for like, was it RB1 or RB2 for like the first 7 or 8 weeks before he got hurt. So I think it's just hard. It's hard. Fantasy is a hard game. People get injured. It's a violent sport, high contact sport. So we're just trying to do our best, basing our facts on analytics and just seeing how things go. It's hard to predict injuries too. Nate coming in at 101. I got JT, Javonte, Andrews. Mr. Lagarsha Shaw. I'm totally botching it. I'm totally botching your YouTube username, but that is the start we want for your draft. That's the start we want for that draft. You know what, Noah? We are maybe we should start a show where me and you totally debate each other like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. And I just won't back down. I won't back down from my rankings. You know what? You make a video on it, you put it on your YouTube channel and let people come watch that. But I'm gonna just hold my ground. I'm gonna hold my ground. You know what? I will bet you a Butterburger right now, a Culver's Butterburger, that this is a bold take, that Javonte Williams scores more points this year than DeAndre Swift. And let me know on a points per game basis. Javonte Williams scores more points than DeAndre Swift. Let me know if you're in. I think it's an interesting take. Okay. My man, like I said, I can't pronounce your username. Maybe you could help me out. What's the worst RB2 you'd be fine with? Great question. You guys are popping off great questions right now. The worst RB2 I'd be fine with. I think it just depends. Like, if it depends on your build that you're going for. Like, I mean, granted, like I think there's some times where you could say like, if J.K. Dobbins is your RB2, like I'd be fine with that. If depending on who your RB1 is. But if we're going like robust RB, so let's just assume that you are drafting, like I don't know. I don't like Nick Chubb. I think I've said that enough on the stream already. I don't like Nick Chubb, but I am like Lenny as an RB2. I'm feeling great with, because I think he has the upside to be an RB1. I'm cool with Zeke as an RB2 because he's going to get the volume. It might not be the same upside on a points per game basis as like we're saying like a Javonte Williams or an Aaron Jones or an Alvin Kamara, anything like that. But he's durable, has been durable in the past, and he always finishes as a low end RB1. And last year he was kind of dealing with an injury and he still kind of performed. So I'm cool with Zeke. I'm cool with James Conner. I don't feel great about it. I'm cool with Travis Etienne as my RB2, and I'm cool with Breece Hall as my RB2. If I have Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, or Elijah Mitchell, once we kind of get to this tier, I am definitely feeling a little shaky. I'm feeling a little bit worried about my depth at my running back position, especially if something happens to my RB1. So that's kind of my thoughts there. Hope that helps. But yeah, but if you get those guys, like if you get those guys as an RB3, or maybe something happens where you get 2 elite wide receivers and then you just need another one, like I think it's all how your team is being built. But typically, yeah, I'm not feeling great, especially knowing how frequent these running backs get injured. So that's kind of why I like to try to get 2 studs, because there's a high probability that one of them gets injured. And then hopefully I did enough well drafting in rounds 4 to rounds 8 to be able to supplement that depth with wide receivers in my flex spots, and then my other running back position. So those are kind of my thoughts. Noah, oh my, yeah, Butterburger time, baby. Butterburger time. We got a bet. It's on the channel. We are making a bet about Butterburgers. That's what we do, you know. We will be doing a stream. I know you guys all loved Jordan coming on. We will be doing that tank top stream that we promised once we hit 50 subscribers. Now, like I said, we're at 60. So maybe we should just make the goal. Once we get to 70, we'll do the tank top stream because we are so close to getting to 70. So if you haven't already, please like and please subscribe because we are going to be grinding these mock drafts as well, day in and day out until we get to this fantasy football season. I got a ton of drafts this weekend, so I got to get prepared. You guys got to get prepared because we're here to win some money and just have bragging rights over our friends. So like I said, tune in tomorrow. Send me a message if you want to be a part of the mock draft tomorrow, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. And I'm wishing you guys a good night and catch you tomorrow.